Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the TheDannySaur alongside my co-caster Cha0s, bringing you Season 4 Top Dog action. We have 440 Gaming up 3-1 over Rip Zeez, spawning the upper, slightly right-hand portion of Catalina. We have 440's Lullaby.
And spawning in the lower right-hand corner in the blue trunks, representing Team Rip Zeez. His name is Raldan.
No troll there. Well, remember how I said Proxy 2 Rex? Because it's totally happening. It's not. It's not happening. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would concur with that.
Well, you know what's really dumb? It's a 3-player map, and it's huge. So, like, not the best idea.
Granted, if you... I don't know. You could build a couple. You could build the racks in the center of the map, and then have one of the SCVs scout,
and just be kind of far away instead of.
You could.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be. It's not the most ideal situation, but I mean.
Now, all right. So actually, you kind of touched on a point that I love talking about, which is odd because that seems like a weird transition. But one of my favorite things in Starcraft is the ability for players to do exceedingly inefficient builds that totally work because of the meta. It's like when a player has like a fake tech switch or something. Those are my favorite builds because like it's purposefully not optimized. Like, you know, you get...
Yeah, it's just weird enough that it works.
Yeah, well, it's like as a Protoss player, sometimes like you show that you're getting a Stargate, don't cancel it, build like 1 or 2 Phoenix, and then transition into DTs because you just can, and they never expect it, and it works. It's like that. It's so weird how going to Stargate to DTs is so crazily better than trying to go straight for DTs just because of the way the meta works and how people do it, so...
That and it's just so unexpected that it's like, oh, well, I just lost because I completely forgot detection.
Yeah.
Cool.
I thought he was going Stargate. Why would you need detection? And it looks like Lullaby getting his first peek at the base, and he sees an epic amount of completely standard play.
Woo!
Yeah. All right. Party on.
Granted, to go on that thought, if you go Stargate, your opponent's gonna get spore crawlers, right?
Oh yeah, well I mean, so I think that example works best in like PvP because usually they go like Twilight Council, like the one thing without detection because they definitely don't think they have to.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of builds that do that sort of thing. Not necessarily like an auto win like DTs, but you know, just the little things. I mean, we even saw the first game. You know, it's like mutas. Oh, just kidding. Well, Roach Hydra, just because that's what the game calls for. I love things like that. It just works.
Yeah. So, pretty standard opening for both players. I can see a factory coming down here very shortly.
Oh, wow. Dude, look at that. It's Cha0s. So psychic.
Yep, pretty much. Not really. Just know my Starcraft.
Yep. What is the building that comes after the barracks? A factory.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he could go... I have seen 3 racks before factory. I have seen it. It's not likely, but I have seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Raldan rocking out, droning as hard as he possibly can, and actually going to be going for that really fast third base. Overall, Raldan's got a lot of, like, really good vision of the map. I mean, he's got a couple lings. One of the either potential third, and then one kind of just outside the ramp, and then obviously he's got the Overlord checking on the gases. I mean, just excellent scouting. Doesn't quite have an Overlord in position to quite move in yet. Will shortly.
Yep. Oh, straight 1-1-1. So he's not gonna go the 2. Sometimes you see the 2 racks go down, like we saw earlier, but nope, just going straight 1-1-1. So no big deal there.
I wonder if we're going to be seeing like a, let's see, Tech
Cloaked
Labs
Banshees.
going down. Yeah, this could just be a,
Yep.
I'm thinking Banshee Hellion Reaper or
Harassment
Marauder.
Now,
No, I think this is just going to be a timing push.
I would love if you just like threw a factory onto the Tech Lab and you're like, oh, he's going for tanks. So I just wanted you to be wrong, but I knew you weren't.
Yep.
But I tried.
Okay, so he is going cloak as well, which is kind of interesting. It doesn't look like he's gonna have any like marine type support. He's just gonna play it as is. Overlord's trying to get into a good enough position to actually get in here and scout. Granted, nah, so far not going to be able to. Yeah, the one thing about this map is really, with as big as the main is, it's really hard to get an Overlord into that kind of in between your natural and your main.
Yeah.
So scouting is very, very difficult. So this is pretty much going to hit, and it's going to be like, oh crap.
Yeah, we'll see how much he has. I mean, he's building a certain amount of links to deal with it. Lullaby building a third base, so this is by no means an all-in in any way. I like that he's building that supply depot to really shore everything up there. Sorry, I had to sneeze really bad, so I had to like dive out of my chair so I didn't sneeze into the mic.
Yeah, so as of right now, no Spore Crawlers going down quite yet. Baneling Nest is coming up. I'm not sure if Baneling Nest is actually the right choice. I kind of feel like Roaches would be a better option for him.
Well, if he knew all the Hellions, which did they kind of sneak out? I mean, he doesn't totally have. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know now. Now he's gonna know,
yeah,
obviously.
Spore Crawler just now going down. Drones being evacuated. Cloak just now finished, so he is gonna need to go ahead and cloak that Banshee. Come on, cloak the Banshee. You can do it or not.
He roasted a lot of lings on the left side. How many lings went down? 19. Most of those, I think, were right there. Oh, and the transformation right up into Hellbats. So now they're a little bit more beefy. So we shall see if he pushes in with that or is just kind of content to let things even out a little bit. And Lullaby, chase down that rogue Zergling and push across.
And actually, these Hellbats are in a really, really good position that the lings aren't going to really be able to get in here and do a whole lot. Yeah,
there's just no way. Yeah, like, oh no, they're surrounded. Oh look, everything dies. Like it's they're not even taking damage. And the Banelings are gonna come in, but I mean, Banelings against them aren't gonna be the best.
And he's even doing a really good job just spreading everything apart, and the Banelings just completely get roasted.
Yeah, if he can take out this third base, that would be a real nice deal for him. And it looks like, did he split properly? Is he going to try to save it? He is gonna try. He came in. Is he gonna do it? Oh, 200 left, and yes, he does save the third. That kind of saves it. Oh, he should focus it down with the Banshees.
Come on.
Oh, just focus it. Focus it down.
Oh.
There it is.
Thinking about it.
There it is.
And there it goes.
Yeah, that's definitely going down, which is very unfortunate for Raldan. That's going to put him back a little bit, especially if Lullaby can set up this third effectively. It's going to be real tough for him. So you see the supply, our Terran player is actually leading right now, which is just not something that you typically see.
Yeah, I mean, overall, that was a really, really good engagement. He got his Hellbats into a really good position, and even with the reinforcing Hellbats, they came in, did a lot of damage, and soaked up a lot of those Baneling shots that were meant for kind of the main army. And yeah, now that the third base has been taken, I mean, it's already more or less fully saturated. 15 mining SCVs on the minerals. I mean, he's just, pretty awesome position right now.
Yeah, I love putting down the bunker and everything. He knows that this will most likely be under siege sometime soon, as obviously Raldan doesn't just want to let him have it, but has to kind of just be content with that right now. And a big-time bank building up for Lullaby. He's certainly looking very, very good, working on 2-2 centrifugal hooks for those Banelings. Lots of good stuff. I mean, everything shaping up for both these players here, but Lullaby certainly holding the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really surprised that he's been holding such a big bank. Obviously, we can see that his production is just now rounding out with the extra barracks.
Ninja Ling. Sorry, a Ling just snuck by 8 Marines that just walked by it and didn't do anything.
Hello, folks. How are you doing? I'm just going to check on this 1 second.
Yeah, good day, sir. Yes, come on in. See our goods and wares.
Oh, wait a second. You're not human. You're a freaking Zergling.
I like how you put the freaking in there. That really sold it for me. I felt like I was right there with you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's how I roll. Anyways, so we've got lots of Marines coming out. 11 at a time. Holy cow. Yeah,
well, Stim Pack is going to be done. Now, these hooks, the speed, Baneling should be done by the time he's across. The creep spread is pretty good across the map. The engagement will certainly take place on creep more than likely if Lullaby decides to push out. Working on Thors, I like this. So he's kind of just building ahead, saying, all right, well, just in case, we'll make sure we have Thors in our back pocket. So here we go. And Lullaby, we'll have to see how this push comes across.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, his supply is, like, crazy ahead of his opponent. I mean, yeah, like, this, you never see a
105 army to 30. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, like, this is, like, these lings that are being produced, like, they're just gonna melt. Especially to this amount of DPS. I mean, like, he's gonna need some seriously insane Baneling shots, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Burrow is done. Which means we're not going to be seeing any burrowed ling awesomeness.
Correct, yeah, and I think Lullaby is going to max out, sensing that he has a lead. This is the point where you just, like, all right, let me just ball everything up and walk across, and let's see if I can kill you.
A move.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it quite an A move just because Banelings are in the mix, but yes.
I mean, you know, even with the Spire, like, finishing up here, 10 mutas, I don't even think 10 mutas are going to really do a whole lot to this thing.
Well, I mean, he's already got 2 Thors in there as well, so it's like, oh, man. Like, he's one step ahead of me. That sucks.
Yeah, and, my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of the macro here has gotten a little bit out of control. And, well, Raldan's trying to go, and he sees everything coming in. He's pretty well split up, and, everything's coming together and melts pretty much before he can get there. Splits across, and good on those Hellbats to kind of take everything in the front. And, again, now that army supply, he's evened it up closer to about 100 to 50. So, half now, which is certainly an improvement. But he's just making lings. He's going to need to make those into Banelings, and that's going to get pretty tough once, you know, a couple more of these Thors get in the mix. They can start soaking that up.
He's even doing a really good job of splitting. Everything's coming in. Banelings trying to make the connections they need. They're not quite getting there. Still a lot of fairly large army here for Lullaby. Granted, the rest of this is going to go ahead and get cleaned up. Actually, some really nice Baneling shots. Granted, the Banshees are still getting a lot of damage done, and obviously we still have production kind of making units back at home here for Lullaby. I don't know. That didn't really do a whole lot. Like,
yeah, I'm just kind of surprised. Yeah,
didn't really touch production. Didn't really touch anything. Looks like Lullaby is lagging a little bit. Granted, he's building only Marines, so I'm not too terribly surprised. Lots of Marines versus lots of Lings. Granted, we do have a crazy ton of mutas out on the field. 18 so far with, I believe, a couple just more. No, 18 in total. Yeah. So,
I mean, don't call it a comeback, but oh no, 2 full medevacs almost flew right into all of the mutas.
Yeah, that was almost a really bad day, and unfortunately, Raldan really needs to kind of come back and defend. Granted, these mutas are not really going to do a whole lot with a handful of Thors mixed into this army composition. But yeah, Lullaby is just saying, okay, knocking once again, see whether or not we can get things rolling. But yeah, Banelings are out on the field. Lots of Lings coming in. Is he gonna get the shots? Not a lot of micro going on here, and it does look like the rest of this army is gonna eventually get cleaned up. And yeah, I think Lullaby has just pushed himself in.
Yeah, now it's 100 to 30, and will he just continue on the push? This is kind of the little bit of free time you have before you know more Banelings are going to be around. There's not going to be a big swell coming out of nowhere, so you can just make these big moves in. And it looks like this is going to be pretty rough here for Raldan. Can he put it all together?
Yeah, I mean, at third base going down, obviously the fourth base is up and running. Granted, that's probably not going to be running for too terribly long. GG is called, and 440 Gaming going to be taking the last game, winning 4-1 over their opponents this evening, and they